My phone just started recording on its own. That's a little creepy. Okay, so I guess today the topic that I want to cover or talk about, the thing that came to me when I thought about what to talk about, is how to hear the universe when the universe is speaking to you. This one's kind of takes some practice, I will say. I knew a girl one time that was telling me that she wanted to believe in God. She wanted to know that God was real, and she just wanted God to send her a sign. And she had almost overdosed a few times in her life and survived like every single time. And I'm like, girl, what kind of sign are you looking for? Like, you want the hand of God to like come down and be like, peace or something like that? Like, girl, it ain't gonna happen. That's not how it works. At least from my perception, when you're perceiving things from 3D reality, which is, I would say, beta brainwave, how we're perceiving things right now, God is going to communicate to you, the universe is going to communicate to you through itself. So I have an example that I like to use, one that was pretty good for me. It was one time I was walking down the sidewalk and I was looking way far ahead for a crosswalk that I could cross the street on, and it was a bit farther down than I wanted to go because I needed to double back, and I was just like, man, look at that crosswalk all the way down there. That's so far away out. And then I heard this honk, like someone honked next to me, and it startled me, and I looked down and there's a crosswalk right next to me, and I was like, oh. That I would consider the universe speaking to you, where something happens, you hear a noise, somebody says something just in passing, they're just walking by, and it's relevant to what you're thinking about, or it's stuff like that. I would say is the universe speaking to you. The signs are in the universe itself. I've looked down before and seen arrows directing me places, and so I follow them and I'll find something on the ground. Or I was walking on a trail at night one time, like a well-lit path. It wasn't a trail, it was a well-lit path. And I looked up at the moon and I saw an arrow pointing backwards, and I'm like, well, should I turn around and go back? And I heard in my mind, no, just turn around. And I turned around and there was a guy on a bike, like, back there. I turned around so fast I scared him. He was like, ugh! And I'm like, oh, sorry. But he was kind of loitering back there, on his bike, just going real slow, and I didn't know he was back there. And maybe if he had gone by me, he would have spooked me or something. So it's just stuff like that, where there's little things out there, little signs out there that probably only mean something to you. People see synchronicities a lot, numbers, repeating numbers, that depending on what you believe or what you're looking for, that can be a sign. Angel numbers, people see angel numbers. Since we have numbers around us a lot, license plates, and that's a huge one. If you're driving, there's numbers everywhere. Streets, there's numbers all over the place, numbers on the billboards up in the sky. Like, there's lots of opportunity for the universe to communicate to you through numbers. If you live in a place where there's a lot of people walking around in a city or something, sometimes little snippets of conversation, you hear the universe talking to you through people. Sometimes a person will come up to you and say something that's like what you needed to hear right then and there. I was in the grocery store one time and I was just really pondering, like, the fact that I felt like all of this was a simulation, that it's just a dream within a dream situation. And there was this guy, like, raving he was looking in the freezer, and he was saying there's something on the wing, and then he turns around and looks at me and he's like, you get that this is all an illusion, right? And I was just like, because I was literally just thinking about how it was crazy that it's all this like dream within a dream, and that all was on my mind. And then he turns around, you get that this is an illusion, right? And I was like, Yes, yes, I do. I really do, guy. Like, it was so random, but I feel like that is how, or sometimes it's a feeling in your body, you'll suddenly get this really intense feeling of joy or sadness or something inside of you, and maybe you weren't even thinking about anything. There's a lot of ways that the universe communicates through animals. There's a lot of times where the universe speaks through animals. I get a lot of insect messages. Insects are always talking to me. They come up and they buzz around, and sometimes if you look at them right, you can make eye contact with them and you can pick up a message that way. Like, I've had bees take me to things. I've had little bugs, like I would be having a hard time and a little bug would come up and wave its little bug arm at me, and I'm like, ah! Thank you, little bug. That's exactly what I needed to hear. So there's a lot of ways. If you're paying attention, though, you have to be open to receiving those messages. You have to have an open heart. You have to have an open mind. You have to accept that instead of just coincidence, that maybe something conscious is happening in the environment. The universe itself is an energetic. If you think about all of the energy, how everything's made of energy, how everything is connected, how complex it is very much more complex than our brains, and our brains are producing consciousness. So why not the universe? Why not this thing that we're all living in? Why not all of these energetic interactions? Why wouldn't they at some level have this baseline consciousness? And I'm not saying consciousness like how we as an organism experience consciousness, because everything experiences consciousness differently. A spider is going to experience being conscious differently than a dog. A tree is going to experience consciousness differently than, say, a rock. And you could say, oh, a rock isn't conscious. Well, we don't really know that, because a rock is made up of matter, and matter is made up of energy. So at some baseline level, there's a lot of spiritual people out there who will argue that crystals have consciousness, that rocks have consciousness. There's Native American belief, animism. Everything is conscious. They're all our brothers. They're all our relatives. We're all related. We're all one. So keep that in mind. If you're looking for a sign, be careful, because you might not like what you get. Sometimes the universe is going to send you a little smack. I definitely had the skin scared off of me when I got honked at, like right next to me, but the crosswalk I needed was literally right next to me. So just keep that in mind. But if you're asking for a sign, you just be open to what you will receive, and try not to doubt. I know doubting is hard, because it's fundamental for survival to doubt. Like, if you're in survival mode, especially, you're going to be doubting. And that's okay. But it will make it really hard to read or pick up the subtle signs that you're being sent. Part of the way that because I was really skeptical for a long time, part of the way that I kind of got over that was to just start being grateful and saying thank you for a lot of things. Like, thank you for, I woke up today. I'm really grateful for that. Thank you for my legs that work, that I'm walking around. No ableism there, but I'm grateful for my legs, I'm grateful for my hands. I'm grateful for my toes. And people without hands and toes and legs are probably grateful for their lives, for the way that they move through the world. We're all grateful for what's taking us through our lives. And I mean, I can't say we're all grateful. Some of us are really struggling out there, but there are things to be grateful for. And if you can back out a little farther and see this life as the dream within a dream, then it really is, we're here for the experience. We're here to be here. And we're learning things all the time. We're here to learn, we're here to live, and then we're here to go back and, depending on what you believe, come back and do it all over again. Maybe as a tree, maybe as a rock, maybe as a crystal, like maybe as a bug, you know, you don't know. If we're all the same energy, we could probably come back as any old dang thing we want. And when we die, we just go back home, and then it's like, what do you want to be next? You know, pick your own adventure. What do you want to be next? What do you want to do next? What do you want to learn next? What do you want to experience? And that's what I believe. Not everyone believes that. Totally cool. But that's what I believe. And when you start seeing everything is connected, when you start seeing everything as one, when you start seeing the universe as a thing that can talk to you, and you start talking to it, the universe will talk back to you. I've experienced it too many times to say that I don't believe that. And I will say also that I'm believing that with the intention of wanting there to be more meaning to my life. I don't expect anyone else to believe what I believe, but this is my life. Like, I'm here. This is your life. You're here. You can decide to believe what you want to believe, as long as it's not hurting anyone. What's wrong with that? You know, so this just another way of looking at it, another way of experiencing it that you may want to explore. I definitely have a lot more fun when I think that the universe is here talking to me, experiencing this with me. We're in this together. I'm never alone. We're in this together. We're all in this together. Anyway, I don't know if I said the day. It is January 7th, 2025. It is now 10:24 in the morning, and it is 24 degrees outside. I'm going to head to work now, but I hope you have a lovely day. Bye.